Steph Curry.
Yeah, that's the one.
Steph Curry's the one that I want to play with, for sure.
Thank the Lord in heaven, I no longer have to watch the Los Angeles Lakers play basketball anymore. And every time I make a video on them, I feel like it's going to be the last video I make on them. But yet they keep giving me reasons to make videos on them, and I'm sure as a result of it, my audience might be getting a little annoyed, so I apologize for that. But in this video, there's one, the fate of Russell Westbrook, which he might get released, which is absolute lunacy to me. And then there's LeBron James going on to his show trying to recruit Steph Curry. No, I'm serious. He tried that again. Now, before we get to the content, we're giving away $500 to a subscriber that turns on our notifications on this channel. And I also created a Discord community in the description down below. If you just click that link, you could join and have a means of talking to me on a more personal basis. Now that we get all that out of the way, cue the intro. I'm not a big fan of traditional banks. They charge $35 for overdraft fees. They charge you fees for having a checking and savings account, and they don't give you cash back on debit card purchases. On top of that, most banks don't really care if you make or lose money, which is why I partnered with Albert. Albert is free to sign up for and easy to use. Instead of just opening a traditional savings account and hoping you put money into it, Albert looks at your income and expenses to see what money you can save. The best part is they give 5 to 20% cash back on retailers like Walmart, Starbucks, and McDonald's. Probably the most important feature of Albert is Genius. Albert has a team of financial experts called Geniuses that will look at your situation and help you make a plan if you get stuck. And for a limited time, when you click my link in the description down below, open up an account and submit a qualifying direct deposit, you'll get $150 just like that. That's an easy $150 to make, and thank you, Albert, for today's sponsor. Mic check 1 2 1 2. What's going on, everybody? Guys, the last time we made a video, it primarily had to do with Frank Vogel potentially getting fired and with Russell Westbrook saying that he wants to run it back with the Los Angeles Lakers. Yeah, he actually said that.
Yeah, I mean, that's the plan, you know, but nothing is promised. Kind of got to take one day at a time each day. Like I said all season long, you got to play the cards you dealt. Yes. You know, we want to be able to see what that looks like, what that entails over the course of a 2-game season, but we're not sure if that's guaranteed either. So hope that we have a chance to be able to do so in the future.
But in this video, we are singing a completely different tune. But what was said that was really shocking to me is what LeBron James had to say in regards to the Golden State Warriors star player. Yes, ladies and gentlemen, if you remember last year, LeBron James was rumored to be attempting to recruit Steph Curry onto his team, which I'm gonna be honest, I did believe, mainly because that's just the way LeBron James is. He's not the type of guy that looks at his adversaries and says, let's try to figure out a way to outcompete this individual. Rather, he tries to figure out a means to team up with said individual. And this is just the one thing about LeBron James that has always kind of irked me. I mean, I understand leaving the Cleveland Cavaliers, who haven't been able to put together a good roster around you during the first stretch of your career, to team up with Dwayne Wade and Chris Bosh on the Miami Heat. Well, I understand returning to the Cleveland Cavaliers and trading for Kevin Love to form a big three with himself, Kyrie Irving, and Kevin Love. But I don't necessarily understand this idea of trying to recruit Steph Curry last year when Steph Curry's Golden State Warriors weren't having a good season. Well, an okay season. They were a play-in team. They got eliminated in the play-in. And LeBron fans are going to say that that rumor is bunk, but I just think he got rejected. And for those of you guys that think that rumor is bunk, well, there is actual video evidence of him once again kind of hinting towards the fact that he wants to play with Steph Curry on his episode of The Shop.
Steph Curry's the one that I want to play with, for sure. Man, I love everything about that guy. And that mother,
Lethal.
Lethal, man. When he get out his car, you better guard him right from the moment he pulls up to the arena. As soon as he get out of his car, you better guard him.
Guard him.
Yeah, better guard him. Man, you might want to guard him when he get out of the bed. I swear to God.
This is where it gets a little bit humiliating for LeBron James. And I want you to know, I'm not a LeBron James hater. He's on my Los Angeles Lakers. I am a fan of every individual on the Los Angeles Lakers, but you have to admit this is a very strange look for LeBron James when you see how Steph Curry responded to this man. Steph Curry literally listened to the entire interview and the entire segment that that LeBron James gave and had this to say about it.
It was phenomenal. Well, we got his wish, so he's the captain. He's picked me the last 2 All-Star games, so I don't know if that suffices, but I'm good right now.
How's that make you feel, though?
Good right now. I mean, whenever you get the interest or curiosity of what it would be like to play with one of the greatest of all time, cool. Like, it's amazing.
Right.
We all can live in that fantasy world, though.
Yeah, Steph Curry literally listened to LeBron James saying, hey, I would love to play with Steph Curry, and rejected him. Straight up rejected him. And to be honest, if you're Steph Curry, do you really blame him? Look, to be honest, Steph Curry completely lucked out with the team that drafted him. I mean, the odds of him getting drafted by the Golden State Warriors at the time that he got drafted by the Golden State Warriors weren't as high as you think. The Warriors already had a franchise cornerstone of a point guard in Monte Ellis. Well, combo guard in Monte Ellis. But they took a chance on Steph Curry anyways. The New York Knicks really wanted to get Steph Curry. Could you imagine if that would have ended up happening? Do you think Steph Curry would have had the career that he ended up having? Well, maybe. Mike D'Antoni was the head coach of the New York Knicks at the time, so for all you know, they could have came up with a prolific offense that featured Steph Curry chucking up 3-pointers, but I'd like to think that there were a lot of things that needed to fall into place for Steph to be as successful as he is. I mean, drafting Klay Thompson, drafting Draymond Green, trading for Andre Iguodala, firing Mark Jackson, bringing in Steve Kerr. It's just there's so many things that needed to fall into place for Steph to be successful, and not taking anything away from Steph because he's a tremendous basketball player that revolutionized the way basketball is being played, but he was born into a situation where his front office is kicking ass with every single decision that they make. LeBron James, on the other hand, got drafted by the Cleveland Cavaliers, was traumatized as a result of them not being able to put together a good team around him, and then ultimately decided to leave, join the Miami Heat, and start playing general manager. Now, sometimes when LeBron plays general manager, it results in championships, like the 2016 season when the Cleveland Cavaliers came back from a 3-1 series lead, while Draymond Green, of course, got suspended during that NBA Finals. We're gonna leave out that detail and just focus on the fact that the Cavaliers won a championship as a result of LeBron James pushing them to trade Dion Waiters and Andrew Wiggins and Anthony Bennett and bring in players like Iman Shumpert, J.R. Smith, and of course, Kevin Love. So while LeBron James has always had to stress out about who are my teammates going to be, Steph Curry has never needed to feel that burden. Steph Curry probably has never had the urge or the thought of leaving the Golden State Warriors because they always put him in a situation to succeed. His team is contending more often than not, and when they were not contending over the past 2 years, there was a light at the end of the tunnel. So I can understand why Steph Curry would never want to play with LeBron James. All it would do is tarnish his legacy. Steph never had to leave the Golden State Warriors to be successful. The Golden State Warriors consistently put him in situations of success. And that's just the way the NBA is. There's a portion of your career in any sport, not just the NBA, more the NFL than the NBA, might I add, that your career is completely out of your hands. And in LeBron James's case, he was so damn good that when he went to specific teams and said, hey, I want you to make specific decisions, the teams decided to pull back and just give him free reign. Because if you're the Los Angeles Lakers, of course, if LeBron James wants Russell Westbrook over DeMar DeRozan and Buddy Hield, you're going to listen to him. After all, LeBron James could get up and leave at any point. He only has 1 more year left on his contract, and you want to do whatever it takes to appease him so he can retain his services. Ultimately, there is no way, shape, or form that I ever see LeBron James teaming up with Steph Curry, unless if he decides to take like a veteran minimum contract to play with the Golden State Warriors. Could you just imagine how awkward that would be if he was to do that? LeBron James running with Draymond Green, Klay Thompson, and Steph Curry. Just, I don't even want to imagine that, if I'm being honest. I don't think it'll ever happen. Maybe LeBron James meant it to be endearing towards Steph Curry, but to be honest, as a man that has a legitimate argument to be the greatest of all time, I feel like consistently showing love to one of your biggest adversaries and a man that is responsible for you not having 3 more championship rings just isn't necessarily the way I would do things. But I'm me, and he's LeBron James. Obviously, it's a different era of basketball. Let me know in the comment section down below what you guys think about all this. Aside from that, I'm your boy Mike. I'm dropping our mic until our next upload.